Hello everyone, I'm tomdune and welcome to UK Space News.
Liftoff and the clock has started.
Now, this week was looking set to be a relatively quiet week as far as space news goes. However, all that changed on Tuesday when Cosmic Girl landed at Spaceport Cornwall just after 6:30 PM ahead of that all-important first launch. The mission, now called Start Me Up after the song by the Rolling Stones, will see 9 small satellites by 7 different projects placed into orbit. A mission patch also found its way online this week, and it's getting pretty cool to think that we're only now just a few short weeks away from that all-important, historic first flight from Spaceport Cornwall. Later in the week, Cosmic Girl carried out test flights up the Cornwall and Devon coasts, and then out towards the rocket launch site itself in the North Atlantic, flying at an altitude of about 30,000 feet. Once there, it completed some loops of the launch site in a racetrack pattern, which is exactly what will happen when it comes to the actual launch itself. With all systems looking good, Cosmic Girl then safely landed back at Spaceport Cornwall a few hours later. It was then joined by the rocket itself, Launcher 1, on Saturday, having flown in from California, and no doubt more test flights and critical system tests will be carried out in the weeks leading up to launch to demonstrate that they are fully mission ready. Now, the latest from the Civil Aviation Authority, the CAA, is that they might be given the go-ahead for that launch as early as this week, so do stay tuned for that exciting announcement. We also had activity this week from the UK-built Solar Orbiter. Manufactured by Airbus at its Stevenage manufacturing facility and launched in 2020, it made its most recent close pass of the Sun this week on Wednesday. And using the extreme ultraviolet imager, it captured a series of images at 17 nanometers as it made its way to its close perihelion pass of around about 42 million kilometers from the Sun. For those that don't know, the orbiter is looking to answer some fairly big questions about our closest star, including what drives its 11-year cycle of magnetic activity, what drives the generation of solar winds, and how coronal mass ejections affect the solar system as a whole. In September this year, the orbiter made observations of solar switchbacks, where fluctuations in the interaction of solar wind magnetic fields cause sudden reversals of those fields. Essentially, a magnetic field's output loops back in on itself and then back out again in a sudden shift that resembles the letter S. It's thought that switchbacks are the cause of sudden accelerations of solar winds, and the observations help scientists to validate data first recorded by NASA's Ulysses probe and later the Parker Solar Probe in 2018. Not only that, but the data recorded will continue to answer some important questions about how solar winds interact with the rest of the solar system's magnetic fields, and what that means not only for us here on Earth, but also for low Earth and far afield satellites and spacecraft. Now, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It goes a long way to helping this channel, and I really do appreciate it. Next, we turn to Skyrora, who had a bit of a surprise for us this week. On Thursday, October the 13th, they sent out this tweet. That's right, we had an actual rocket launch, which took place on October the 8th, with a Skylark L being launched from Skyrora's mobile launch facility in Iceland at the Langanes Peninsula. Unfortunately, not all went to plan, and the vehicle failed only 500 meters from the pad after takeoff, with the rocket landing safely back in the Norwegian Sea afterwards. It's not quite known what caused the failure, but Skyrora appeared happy with the data collected and considered it a mission success, albeit maybe somewhat of a Pyrrhic victory. Work's now underway to recover the vehicle from the seabed, and that will allow the team to carry out further analyses to understand what went wrong. The Skylark L is a single-stage suborbital rocket powered by HTP and kerosene. It's capable of carrying payloads up to 50 kilograms to an altitude of about 102 kilometers just above the Kármán line, where experiments can be carried out in microgravity. Originally supposed to be launched in 2021, this flight was set to be Skyrora's first attempt at a suborbital launch. The 11-metre tall Skylark L was actually designed as a test platform for its larger cousin, the Skyrora XL, and this flight was designed to test critical systems that are shared with its larger cousin, such as the automated guidance and navigation systems. Incidentally, that first flight by the Skyrora XL is now due to be carried out in early 2023 in what's a little bit of a pushback for the XL. Now, if you're wondering why the delay in Skyrora actually telling anybody about this launch, well, you're not alone. Unlike other companies like SpaceX, who shower us with footage of virtually everything that they do, Skyrora have a tendency to keep things under wraps until something's actually happened. As you saw, the official video that they released was nothing more than a drone flyover of the launch facility. But it did let us see those mobile launch facilities in operation, including the lorry that's converted from a rocket carrier into a rocket launcher. They've got a whole host of containers that they can ship all over the world, including chemical filled and the mobile command center itself. So while they might be doing things on a budget, it's really still quite cool to get an idea of how they go about things, particularly when you consider that they are going to have a launch site in Scotland, in Nova Scotia, Canada, and now Iceland, with that agreement having been signed last year with the Icelandic government. So after a rather slow start, things really did pick up this week, and the excitement is just going to keep on coming, especially as we're only a few weeks away from that first launch window for Virgin Orbit on October the 29th. As I said earlier, if the CAA do give approval this week, then man oh man, you can expect things to really ramp up ahead of that first window. But for now, I just want to say thanks to everyone for taking the time to watch and comment on last week's video. What did you think of this week's space news? Drop a comment below or reach out using the links in the description. Until next time, I've been tomdune. Thanks for watching.